What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel of Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Today, I have some very cool people, guests on my show. They're from the band called DeFunked. And I've got a couple, so I'm excited. We might have another one pop in too. But I'm going to let Danny J, you go by Danny J?
Yeah.
And Dan, I'm going to let them go ahead. I know your story. I have your bio, and I will be asking questions. But I want you to tell us about yourself, and just give us a little bit of backstory on how your DeFunk came about and how you guys hooked up and all that good stuff.
All right. Well, I'm Danny. We have two Dans on right now. We have a bunch of different guys in the band, but they couldn't all make it tonight. So we're just speaking for everybody on the podcast. But I met Eric EJ. He's my business partner through everything. Like 13 years ago. It's been a long time. We met here in Chicago through a radio station here, B96, and then
love B96.
Yeah. It was a great station. And then we basically connected, started making music, and kind of never looked back. He had some connections out in LA and was like, hey man, if you want to take this seriously, we got to leave Chicago and either go to LA, New York, or Nashville. And at the time, and probably still so, LA was kind of the place to be. So we made the move out there and ended up doing I think 9 years out there and met a lot of cool people. And we ended up, we did a ton of stuff that would take hours on the podcast and be probably pretty boring. But we met Dan there actually, and
moved to Chicago. Are you crazy?
Dan ended up moving to Chicago. I'll let him tell his story, but he moved to Chicago, I think for a girl, right? And then from LA, we met him there, but we weren't really he was doing other projects. We were doing our own stuff. And so, because of some crappy stuff, we ended up actually moving back to Chicago. Our house had mold and there were some other issues, and it was around Christmas time. We were like, you know what, let's just go back, hang with the fam, regroup, try to call up some of our old connections and try to basically get stuff going here. And then once we're comfortable, we'll move back to California. That never happened. We actually ended up staying here, and it was probably for the best. And then Dan got in touch with us here and was like, holy shit, you guys moved to Chicago too. We're all back here. Let's do something. Let's get a band together. And our focus was just on other stuff. But until we were like, yeah, you know what? Dan's right. Let's give this dude a chance. And we kind of never looked back from that. He started drumming with us. We did a few things together and found a pretty cool bass player, found a trumpet player, and actually we're working on getting a keyboard guy who's been going back and forth sending us parts online, who's really awesome. And we started playing together. And ended up calling it DeFunked. We just agreed on that name.
I love the name.
It's a goofy name, but we spelled it differently. And apparently, there's a couple other bands elsewhere called the DeFunked, but we were able to get all the social media at the DeFunked, and we were like, yeah. I mean, as you know, as branding, that's really important. So, and then. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at this point until this virus hit and we can't play anymore. So
we're doing live shows. A lot of people doing a lot of things. But going back to when you went to LA, now I saw in your story that you were playing in Santa Monica. Were you playing on the boardwalk there?
We were playing on the boardwalk and we were playing on the promenade, 3rd Street.
Okay, yes. Oh, God, I love it. I love the promenade. I used to go when I was in my early 20s. I used to go there for girls' trips and just on shopping trips and stuff. And I loved that whole area. LA is crazy. The traffic is so nuts, and there's not a lot of real nice places. And I think people don't realize that until you get out of the city, because a lot of gangs and all that stuff. But yes, that too. Santa Monica was just so beautiful, and just especially on the promenade. Is that how you guys connected? Was when you were performing out there?
I think no, it was mutual friends, right?
Yeah, I think honestly, I think we met at a party, maybe.
I think you're right. Oakwood, right?
Yeah. So the way that we met, I think, I mean, I can't think. It was so long. It was probably 10 years ago. It was about a decade ago. I
That's
think
awesome.
we met at a party at the
Like-
Oakwood apartment complex over on Barham Boulevard,
Gosh,
over
I've
by
heard of that, actually. It's funny.
like Warner Brothers there.
Yeah.
And we were aware of each other, like what each other was doing in town. Like, you know, I knew that those guys had Chi-Town, and I had my thing going on. I was really busy with school, so I didn't really play with a lot of like permanent groups. I was bouncing from here to there just to get experience.
Sure.
And then, you know, when we moved here, I moved here by chance, and EJ, I didn't even know they were from Chicago, those guys. I was like, Chi-Town? That's an interesting name.
Couldn't put it together.
Chi-Town!
Yeah.
Bring it old school back,
I
baby.
was like, oh, Chi-Town, not
Yep, makes
Chi-Town.
sense
Chi-Town.
now. Oh, I get it.
So did you guys play together when you were in LA?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Oh, so then how did you
No.
know that how did you know that you were a musician? Did you guys just talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, we had to have. I mean, it was so long ago, but I mean, that at that point in time and back then, I mean, there were so many different types of creative people going around.
Well,
And
LA
I
is a
think-
creative place.
yeah,
you know,
everybody's
it's
doing
huge
something.
there.
it probably just came up in conversation. I remember seeing those guys play at City Walk, somewhere at City Walk. I think it was Howl at the Moon. That was the first time I ever saw you guys perform. And
we played there all the time in that place. Yeah.
I think it was Halloween, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that makes sense. We definitely did Halloween
Danny
shows.
J, what was the name of your band when you were in LA? Did you guys have a name, or what would you call it?
Us or Dan?
What's that? You.
We had a couple different bands actually, and
wow, okay.
Yeah, we had Chi-Town, which is SHY Town.
Oh, that's why you kept saying that. So okay,
Yeah.
over my head.
that was one of the bands, which was just like the two of us. It was just
Sure.
Eric and I, EJ and I, and then we started another band called Terry Got Fired, and that was surprisingly enough actually some of the same guys. We just kind of started like a side project offshoot thing.
Okay.
And that music was kind of separate, almost like ska reggae type stuff. We had those two projects in LA, and then when we moved back here, we linked up with Dan, and we started doing. We got different shows. We got booked for like a Halloween 5K marathon, and we were doing like, it was fun though. We were doing like half DJ gigs, half band, and Dan would be drumming behind the DJ stuff, and it actually really worked. And then we were like, this is cool. And we did another marathon, the breast cancer one at Soldier Field, which was really cool, kind of around the same time in October. And but at that point we were like, you know what, this is really cool. We can keep doing this, but let's put a band together and form a separate thing that actually we can perform with more guys, you know, and that's when we were like, okay, this is a separate thing than the last two projects. This is the DeFunked, you know, and that was that's where we're at now, and that's kind of what we're focusing on mostly. I would say.
So how long has DeFunked been around then for?
Like September, I think was our first show.
You're still really new.
Yeah, super new. I think
we had been playing together for quite some time before that, but the DeFunked,
the three of us,
we call it, is something pretty new. Yeah.
And I did read, and your genre is a little mixed, right? What DeFunked is? What would you call it?
I mean, I look at like, because we play so much different stuff. So when you asked me to write that bio, it was like, I guess I could go and look at different bands that I know and see what their bios are. And
you did a great job. There's some people that send me stuff and I have to say, I can't use this because it's like a paragraph. I'm like, that doesn't tell a story. You have to tell people a story, like lead them down a path so that they understand who you are and what you're all about. So you did a great job.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. I mean, and I don't even know, I'm sure there's a million bands we're actually like, but the stuff that, you know, I was considering like Maroon 5 and Panic at the Disco, Imagine Dragons, and kind of popular bands like that I could compare us to, maybe AJR, and all their stuff mostly says pop. So I would say we're just a pop band, but at the same time, we're heavily influenced by reggae, by hip hop, soul.
You're your own genre, kind of.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, you can rock. Some stuff's rock. You can throw
Funk.
that in there, and it's
heavy
it's a hodgepodge.
Funk.
Funk for sure. Funk. Yeah.
So are you guys? So I know that you said that you were doing live concerts. And you guys are doing that now currently.
Yeah. Well,
live through Facebook. That's what you're telling me. You're going live on Facebook, right?
Yeah, Dan's quarantining himself in his apartment. Otherwise, he would be. I live with EJ, so we're able to do live stream stuff. And if Dan could come over, that'd be awesome because he could play some congas or something. But we're just doing
that would be cool. I mean, we're kind of past the whatever. I'm not gonna get into it.
I know.
I'm like, I've been quarantined for 4 weeks. I'm fine. Like, if
I'm over it.
Quarantine for that.
I thought you were talking about actual live performances that we've done.
No.
We were up until we were supposed to have one in like a week from now, but it's been. We kind of had like a residency at the House of Blues, which was awesome.
That's cool. Yeah.
And Dan was able to sort of connect us with people there, and they've been really cool. And we started building up a nice little following and had an awesome show there. And then just when we're starting to get the ball rolling, this happens. So
yeah.
I mean, it threw a wrench in everybody's plans. So what is the future plans for the DeFunked after obviously this quarantine is over, this whole virus is a little bit past us? What do you guys have like planned, and what are your goals?
I mean, for me, I just want to keep playing.
Yeah.
Creating music and keep playing, you know, just keep the momentum going and see where it goes. See how many genres we can bend.
Sure.
We can conquer.
You know? Yeah.
I mean, I did a podcast with Justin James Dumar. I'm not sure if you're familiar with who he is earlier today. He's a producer. He does some of his own music, but he's more of a producer. He's worked with Jay-Z, and you know, he's actually got a very wide range of artists that he works with. And I was telling him, like, you know, music is such a universal language, and we can all connect some way or another through that. And it's also like your industry is a lot smaller than what you think. I mean, because we are all connected somehow. So, because I actually had run into somebody at a local bar here, and he was saying that he was looking for a producer. And I said, oh, I know somebody. And so then we were connected. He knew who I was talking about. And it's just so weird how it is such a small, we do live in such a small world, and music does bring us together. And I mean, I'm like, music just, I love it. It fuels my life. Like, I was playing it before I got on here. I'm like, okay, I got to get myself going. I'm wearing my stuff. I dressed up for you guys. I'm like, okay. I like it.
I like the sequence.
I love that. Yeah.
Man, this is like, you know, they're rockers kind of. So I got to like dress the part.
Or, yeah, we try, right? I think we have this, so we're trying to put together a new single that luckily we can do. I was talking to Dan the other night, actually, that you can, with music, obviously there's no shows right now, but because of technology, you can kind of do like the whole other half of everything. If we're lucky to have a studio behind us, and we can kind of record, mix, master, and then if you want another ear on it, you can send it. You can send your session to whoever, and they can mix it, and then you upload it. And it, you know, it can still go on all the digital platforms like Spotify, Apple, iTunes. So with that said, we're trying to come out with our first single for the DeFunked.
Cool.
Can't do a video yet, but we could do, like, as you suggested, we could do a Zoom.
Yes.
With all of us playing the song or something funny like that, and see how that works out.
Creative right now to stay connected. You have.
It would be awesome.
So, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem, but next live you do, if you're open to it, I can come. I'll keep my distance, but I can come over and I can actually stream it live through Scene Chicago or Scene TV Chicago. You know, I mean, I'm happy to help with that. And when you do come out with your single, send it to me and I will upload it everywhere too.
Absolutely. I mean,
that'd be great.
Yeah, it would be really cool. And I think as Dan was saying, we just want to play. And right now we can luckily do that through live streaming and things like that, but we miss the stage, we miss the crowds. It's fun, but it's not the same as the shows where you're right there in front of people screaming.
Yeah.
Hell no. I was telling my boss today, you know, and she knows I do the podcast stuff. And I was just like, you know what, there's only so much social interaction you can get through the video. You know, it's like, it's not the same like being in front of somebody and feeling their energy, not even having to touch them, but just being like in the same space. And like, I don't know if you guys have gone to the grocery store, but just how weird and creepy it is when you go out because people are so freaked out. And
it is. It's like
you. Like I'm just
going
like,
to the.
I'm just smiling like, hi. I'm not wearing a mask, okay, but I'm also even before this, if somebody would get in my face, I'll be like, excuse me. Like, first of all, you should not be getting in your space, okay? Like,
yeah.
Weird. Like,
it's almost like going to the grocery store during a zombie apocalypse or something.
That's exactly what I said. I was just like, this is. I was actually concerned for some of the people I saw, and I told this story to somebody the other day. But last time I went, it was probably about a week ago, and I saw this kid. He was young. He was probably in his early 20s. He's fairly tall. He's a little bit overweight. He looked lost. Like. It's not funny. It's not funny. But he had like.
He's never been to the grocery store.
He had 30 bags of potato chips and like a couple packs of paper towels, and he's just like pushing it, going through the grocery store. And I was in Woodman's. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Woodman's. It's huge. But so I was on the other side of the grocery store, and I came around to check out, and I saw him like pass by me, and he still had the same stuff in his cart. I wanted to ask him if he needed help. Like I really did. I was like, oh my God, this poor kid. But anyways, it's a little.
That's sad. Yeah, I try to get in and out as quickly as possible. I mean, everything is so weird that with the information you're getting is so contradictory. It's like you don't have to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask. Now it's, you can be with people and now you can't. Now you have to be like 20 feet apart because the people's talking can spread the germ. I mean, it's crazy how much like they're learning about it. So I haven't gone out in like a week to do anything. And if I am, it's just to go to the store and that's it. And it's get in and get out as quickly as you can.
I get out to walk the dog, and then maybe once every week and a half I'll go to the grocery store. That's pretty much it.
I follow guidelines, but like I'm a healthy person, and I've done my research on how this virus works, and any type of like the flu, the cold, H1N1, swine flu, they're all coronavirus. This is just a different strain, and that all operates the same way. And so anybody with a compromised immune system is going to get sick from the flu, from the cold, right? So it's the same type of principles for anyone that has any type of pre-existing condition. And the numbers that they're posting, all these people are not in the hospital. They're not deadly. They have just tested positive for it. And they had know so little about it that you don't even know if those numbers are the truth. So I also listen to stuff from the Q. I'm not sure if you guys are, know what that is, a little bit of conspiracy theory stuff. And there's a lot of
fun stuff.
What?
It's the fun stuff.
I don't know if it's fun, but I mean,
it's fun to go on that
scary
once in a while. Yeah, it is.
But there's a lot of truth to it. There's a lot of different links to bills that have been passed in the federal government that back up some of the stuff that they're saying. So I don't know. Like I have my own brain. I'm not about to get brainwashed like all these other people, like little robots walking around like, oh yeah,
yeah.
No, sorry. Like I had to block several people on social media because I'm like, I didn't ask you to send me that. That was unsolicited. I can do my own research. Don't send me that anymore. If you send me anything else again, we're going to have to not be connected. So, Hi.
Yeah.
But anyways, with that being said, guys, why don't you tell everybody where they can follow you and support you and see what you guys got coming up next?
Well, we're actually working on our website soon, but everything else is just at the DeFunked. So we have
on Facebook, on Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We just made a SoundCloud. Obviously, we don't have any music released right now.
Okay.
We're going to get to that. We have some videos. YouTube, I don't think you can have your own link until you have a certain amount of followers and stuff, or a certain amount of days. But we literally just made some of this social media recently. But yeah, Instagram is probably the best way to connect with us right now.
All your links in the description of the episode, so I'll just confirm all that stuff with you before I release it.
Nice.
But you guys are awesome. I'm
Thank
excited to
Thank you. So are you.
Oh, thanks. This has been fun a little bit. not in person like I'd like, but
right, of course.
We're making shit happen regardless. The next live, I definitely either want to try to be there if I can, if you'll let me, or I want to be involved somehow, and I'll stream live through Scene Chicago so that we can allow people to see your music and support your band. Okay,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, it's nice meeting you, Dan. Dan, you and I connected before on Facebook, which was just a great connection that worked out so well for both of us. So I'm happy that was a good accident, right?
Yeah, right.
You guys have anything else to share? Nothing else?
Stay safe, stay at home, and most of all, we're going to get through this, and we're going to do it together. Yeah. And on the other side, come see the DeFunked, because we're going to be live near you, and it's a good time. Trust me.
I love it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being my guest. As always, you guys, this is your host, Deanna Kuempel of Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Don't forget to subscribe, share, comment, like, all that good stuff, and I will see you soon.